Think humans are the only smart creatures? Think again. Some animals have incredible intelligence, from solving puzzles to remembering places for decades. Today, we're counting down the top 10 smartest animals on Earth, ranked based on their cognitive skills, memory, problem-solving, emotions, and social intelligence. Number 10. Rat. A tiny genius, these little creatures are surprisingly smart.
That's right, rats have incredible memory, solving mazes and even showing empathy toward others. Scientists have run experiments where rats must find their way through mazes with multiple paths. At first, they try different routes, but once they find the fastest way, they memorize it and complete the maze much faster in later trials. In a famous maze navigation study, researchers found that rats remember the fastest route for weeks and even months. If the fastest route is blocked, they don't give up. They pause, reassess, and take the next shortest route instead of just wandering aimlessly.
That's just like how GPS recalculates your route when there's traffic ahead.
Exactly. And rats aren't just problem solvers. They show empathy too. In an experiment, a free rat could ignore or help a trapped friend. Most chose to help, even without a reward, sometimes before eating, proving they care beyond self-interest.
Okay, I did not expect that. But wait, it gets even crazier, right?
Yes. Did you know that rats are being trained as search and rescue animals? Because they are small, intelligent, and light, they can navigate collapsed buildings after earthquakes. They wear tiny backpacks with cameras and sensors to help rescuers locate survivors.
Hold on. Rats saving lives? That's wild. From solving mazes to rescuing people, they're way smarter than most people realize. Number 9. The pigeon. One of the most surprising animal geniuses.
If you've ever wondered why pigeons were once used as messenger birds, it's because they have an incredible memory. Scientists have found that pigeons can recognize landmarks for years, allowing them to find their way home, even from over 1,300 miles away. And get this, they can also remember human faces. If you regularly feed a pigeon, it might recognize you even months or years later.
Wait, so pigeons are basically tiny, feathered GPS systems, and they don't even need Wi-Fi? That's amazing.
It really is. In fact, during wartime, messenger pigeons delivered critical messages across battlefields with a success rate of over 95%. Their navigation skills are so advanced that scientists say they outperform even modern technology in some cases. But pigeons aren't just great navigators, they can also recognize numbers and even words. Researchers found that pigeons can order numbers like 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the correct sequence. When given a choice, they consistently pick the larger number, proving they understand more versus less, a skill usually seen in primates. And their pattern recognition doesn't stop there. Scientists also discovered that pigeons can recognize over 50 real words and tell them apart from random letter combinations. And believe it or not, pigeons even have an eye for art. In one study, scientists trained them to tell the difference between paintings by Picasso and Monet. Even when shown completely new paintings, they could still recognize the right artist.
So, pigeons can count, read, and even tell apart famous artists. Meanwhile, my son still mixes up 6 and 9 and writes his B backwards. At this rate, a pigeon might be ahead of him in school.
Yeah, and they're even better at recognizing patterns than we thought. Pigeons can spot familiar words just like we do when reading, showing an advanced ability to process symbols, something only highly intelligent animals can do. And here's something really mind-blowing. Pigeons have been trained to detect cancer in medical images. In a study, pigeons were shown biopsy scans and learned to spot cancerous cells with an accuracy rate of over 85%, similar to trained medical professionals.
Hold on, pigeons can help doctors? What's next? A parrot performing surgery.
Probably not, but it does show how incredibly smart pigeons really are.
Yeah, and the next time you see a pigeon in the park, maybe give it some respect. It might just remember your face forever. Number 8. Pig. The smartest farm animal.
Pigs are some of the smartest domesticated animals. Their cognitive abilities are often compared to those of dogs and, in some cases, even chimpanzees. Most people know pigs are smart, but you might not realize just how intelligent they really are. Turns out they can play video games, solve mazes, and even learn tricks faster than expected. Pigs have been tested in all kinds of problem-solving experiments, from navigating mazes to figuring out how to open latches. In one experiment, pigs learned how to find food hidden behind barriers by watching other pigs solve the problem first. This shows they can learn by observation, just like humans. In another study, researchers taught pigs to move a cursor on a screen using a joystick. The pigs quickly learned how to hit targets and complete tasks, showing impressive problem-solving skills. What's even more fascinating is that they kept trying, even when they weren't given a food reward, meaning they were playing just for the challenge.
So they're not just smart, but they also enjoy a good game? That's wild. All right, so pigs are great at solving problems, but what about emotions? Do they actually feel things like we do?
Absolutely. Pigs are incredibly social animals. They form strong bonds with other pigs and even with humans. Studies have shown that pigs experience emotions like joy, frustration, and empathy. In fact, pigs can recognize the emotions of other pigs and react accordingly, comforting their friends when they're stressed.
That's kind of adorable. Oops, so, pigs aren't just smart, they're also sweethearts. I heard somewhere that pigs might be self-aware. Is that true?
Yes, pigs have shown signs of self-awareness in mirror tests. In one experiment, pigs were placed in front of a mirror with food hidden behind a barrier. Instead of trying to get the food in the mirror's reflection, they used the mirror to figure out where the food was in real life. That means they understood the reflection wasn't another pig, it was a tool to find food.
Okay, that's next-level thinking. Most animals don't get that a mirror isn't just another animal staring back at them. So let's break this down. Pigs can play video games, solve puzzles, recognize themselves in mirrors, and even show emotions like empathy. That's a pretty impressive resume for a farm animal. Number 7, the dog. Man's best friend.
Dogs are much smarter than many people realize. Some breeds, like border collies, can learn over 1,000 words, which is more than a 2-year-old child's vocabulary. And dogs don't just learn commands. They can solve problems, make decisions, and even read human emotions better than almost any other animal. Of course, some breeds are naturally better at learning words than others. Border collies, poodles, and German shepherds are among the most intelligent. The most famous example is a border collie named Chaser, who learned the names of over 1,000 toys and could even categorize them by shape and function.
Wait, hold on. 1,000 words? That's impressive. My dog just knows treat and walk, and sometimes ignores me on purpose.
Dogs can actually recognize tone and context. So when you're excited and say, "Let's go for a walk," they know it's time for fun. But if you say, "We need to go to the vet," they somehow figure out it's time to hide under the couch.
Yeah, that sounds about right. My dog conveniently forgets his name when I say it in a serious tone. Okay, but what about problem solving? I've seen videos of dogs opening doors or figuring out puzzles. How smart are they, really?
Dogs are excellent problem solvers. Many working dogs are trained to open doors, retrieve specific objects, or even operate light switches. In one experiment, researchers found that dogs can watch a human complete a task, like pressing a lever to get food, and then figure out how to do it themselves.
I've also heard that dogs can be a little sneaky. My dog knows he's not allowed on the couch, but the second I leave the room, boom, he's up there like nothing happened.
That's because dogs are smart enough to understand rules, but also clever enough to break them when they think they can get away with it. Some dogs even pretend to be hurt for attention or act like they haven't been fed just to get a second dinner.
Yep, that sounds familiar. Mine gives me those sad puppy eyes and suddenly he's getting extra treats. If you've ever had a dog, you probably know they can read human emotions. My dog always seems to know when I've had a bad day. Yeah, he comes over, lays his head on my lap, and looks at me like he understands.
Dogs can recognize facial expressions and body language. They know when you're happy, sad, or even stressed. Many dogs will instinctively try to comfort their owners. Some whine, some nuzzle, and others stay close by to offer support. That's why dogs are trained to help people with PTSD, anxiety, and other emotional conditions. Their ability to sense emotions and react with empathy is what makes them so special.
So let's sum it up. Dogs can understand words, solve problems, read human emotions, and even trick us into spoiling them. Honestly, I think dogs might be too smart for their own good. Number 6. Parrot, the talking genius.
Parrots are among the most intelligent birds in the world. Their ability to mimic speech is impressive, but their intelligence goes far beyond just repeating words. Parrots can solve complex problems, use reasoning, and even show signs of self-awareness.
Okay, let's start with the obvious. Talking. Are parrots really understanding what they say? Or are they just mimicking sounds?
That depends on the parrot. Some species, like African gray parrots, don't just mimic. They understand words and can use them in context. The most famous example is Alex, an African gray who learned over 100 words and could ask for things, identify colors, and even express emotions. When Alex was tired of training, he'd say, "I'm going away now," and turn his back. He also understood numbers and even invented his own words. When he saw an apple for the first time, he called it a bannery, a mix of banana and cherry, because he hadn't learned the word apple yet.
That's like when kids make up their own words. So parrots are basically toddlers with feathers?
In some ways, yes. Their intelligence is often compared to that of a 4 or 5-year-old child. And it's not just about talking, parrots can also count. Alex the parrot could count up to 6 and even understood the concept of zero, which is something even some primates struggle with. Other parrots have been trained to sort objects by shape, size, and color, showing advanced thinking skills. But parrots don't just memorize things, they think through problems. In one experiment, parrots were given a locked puzzle box with food inside. Instead of randomly pecking at it, they studied it, figured out how the lock worked, and opened it in seconds. And here's something even more surprising. Some parrots seem to have a sense of humor. Many owners report that their birds tease them. Some will fake a sneeze just to get attention, while others say bye-bye when their owner is getting ready to leave just to mess with them.
So parrots are not only smart, but also little pranksters? I love that. All right, so parrots can talk, count, solve problems, and even joke around. But what about emotions? Can they actually bond with humans?
Yes, parrots are highly social animals. In the wild, they live in flocks and form deep connections. When raised by humans, they can bond with their owners just like a dog or cat would. Some parrots even get jealous if their favorite person gives attention to someone else. Many scientists believe parrots actually feel emotions. Parrots can express happiness, boredom, frustration, and even grief when they lose a companion. They also recognize people and remember faces for years.
Wow, I knew parrots were smart, but I had no idea they were this emotionally complex. Their intelligence goes way beyond mimicking words. We've seen some truly amazing animals so far, but we're only halfway through the list. From problem-solving rats to joke-telling parrots, it's clear that intelligence comes in many forms. But who made the top 5? You won't want to miss it. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Next week, we're counting down the 5 smartest animals on the planet. See you then.